Good morning, FlossTube. It's Cowgirl Kate here, and I am so happy to be back with you guys. I've missed you. I've missed FlossTube in general, just because it's been quite a rush to the finale around here just to get done with harvest and a lot of other things ready for winter. Thank goodness we're getting a late season, very warm fall, so it's been to our advantage to, use that time to get caught up on things around here. So, yes, we have finally, today's the last day. All the field work is done, so we can kind of focus now on getting the barns ready and the animals kind of all situated. I moved my horses up yesterday, so they were having fun tearing around in a different pasture, because it's new and exciting, and it's just like when you let your kids out on the playground, they got to tear around and see all the stuff. So yeah, they're kind of like that. So anyway, that is what they've been up to. They're not in the winter quarters yet, just because it's too nice outside. It's still in the 50s and 60s and sunny, so it's a very strange November, because usually we got snow by now. So yeah, climate change is real. We're living it right now. What else has been going on? All kinds of stuff. I don't even know where to begin. But stitchy wise, because that's why we're all here, right? I guess the main fun thing that has happened around here for stitching was that I finally got to go see what a retreat was all about. And oh my goodness, I can't wait to actually go to one and get to stay, because what had happened was it was going on right during the thick of all the harvest chaos that was going on around here. And so it was a 4-day weekend, and I knew I could get away for one day, just depending on where we were with the crop situation. And as it turned out, I was able to get away on the very first day of it, so not everyone was there, but I still got to meet a lot of cool people. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun. And yeah, I made a lot of new friends, and I'm hoping that I'll get to see them again soon. Hopefully things will kind of slow down here in the wintertime and we can figure something out. The retreat itself. Now, if you are ever in Osage, Iowa, there is a store there called the Stitchery Nook, and I'll link its Facebook down below. They have a Facebook. I'm not sure about a website. Excuse me. But oh my goodness, the place. It is a mecca. I have never ever been in a needlework store that big and that oh my goodness, it has everything you can think of. It even has dinky dyes, from Australia, that you can just go pick them up, because they got a stock of them. It's just like, oh my goodness, Okay, so I'm going to describe the store a bit. The owners, Sherry and Liz, are super amazing, wonderful people. You'll love them if you meet them. You'll just love them. They're so nice. And they know their stuff. When you walk into the front door of the Stitchery Nook, you can go, they have like this big wall down the middle of their store. And it must be a support wall or whatever. But that's where they have a lot of the models hanging. And they have models from everything. They even got models of heaven and earth designs in there. So I mean, you're talking the great big, stitched pieces. They got everything in there. And one whole side is like those old-time Hallmark card displays. So they use them to display the cross stitch and then up on the walls everywhere. I mean, there's models everywhere. You can actually see what this stuff looks like. So that's all like down on one side of that store. Then in the back of that side, they have the framing department. They do all the framing. And yeah, it is so cool. Now, if you go like through, it's like a loop. You go through, there's like this middle support wall, and you can just kind of walk around. You go on the other side, they got their fabric cutting table, all the fibers that you can think of. I mean, they got water lilies and weeks dye and, you know, needle necessities, you know, all that stuff. They got everything. And then the fabric cutting table, and then more glass displays with all the models, all the beads, a big table, and then people just kind of sit around this big table and work on their projects or whatever. You know, they just kind of hang out there, which is so cool. And then if you go in the back, they have this nook where they do scrapbooking supplies, and also they print pictures. So I mean, you could like take your phone in there and they could print the pictures off for you. I mean, it is just, it's like one-stop shopping, you know. You find everything and more than what you want, or more than what you need, but everything that you want. So now that's the bottom half of the store, and it's huge. It's huge. The store is like huge. I mean, it's bigger than a house, you know, just the first floor. And then you go up the stairs to where the retreat center is, and it's this big open plan area. It has a full kitchen in it, fridge, stove, counter, cupboards, pots, pans, all that stuff for the retreats that they host there. And then in the big open space, they have like all these card tables and long tables, and there's all sorts of tables, and people can arrange them however, for quilting, scrapbooking, and needlework, whatever the retreat is set up, you know, for those people to have going on. Okay, then at the other end of this big open area, there's like a living room setting, great big huge flat screen TV, and then a couch and a whole bunch of recliners. Here's where it gets really awesome. Every little sewing spot has its own light. I mean, it was so cool. I mean, I was just kind of blown away. And then in the back, you have the rooms where people would sleep, and they have some that have bunk beds in them, and there's several more bathrooms. So, I mean, it's set up. And oh my goodness, the retreat. I only got to spend the afternoon, but oh my goodness, it was so fun to meet people, and they were all, you know, passionate about their hobby. And for me, you know, I don't get to see a lot of people real life, you know, enjoying their stuff. So it was a little overwhelming for me. Not only that, but they were so welcoming, and oh my goodness, I think I spent half the day being red as a beet just because Sherry had asked if I would bring Pocket Watch Pixie and the rest of my models that I was working on down to the shop so that people could see them, what they actually look like. So what that all came about was they asked if Pocket Watch could stay at the shop for a while so that people could see what she looked like, and I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. But, you know, I've never had my stuff in a store, so I mean, that was overwhelming, but, you know, it's cool, you know, she's down there. So, yeah, if you are ever in Osage, Iowa, you need to go to the Stitchery Nook. Check out all their amazing stuff. Tell them Cowgirl Kate sent you. See if they get a laugh out of that. And yeah, it was just amazing. I'm hoping to get to another retreat here. I don't know. They have them sometimes during the winter, so hopefully one of these days it'll kind of kick in where I don't have a lot of chaos going on at home and I can run away. Fingers crossed. So that was like the big major event in my Stitchy update. That was kind of you know, a really big deal. And they were really nice. They kind of, I don't know, it was overwhelming just the response they got. And yeah, if you ever get a chance to go there or to get to a retreat, oh my goodness, take it, because oh, you will have so much fun. I wish I could have stayed for, you know, a lot longer than what I was able to, but yeah, my day will come. I'll make sure. So now for I guess what's really been going on here at home for the stitching. Since my last video, I have a finish, and you've probably seen it if you were on Facebook in the, you know, in the Mania group, or in the Eye of the Magpie group, or in, you know, Instagram. But the Model of Hope is finished, and I have her here now. So here is what she looks like, and I apologize I don't have her on a frame where she's all stretched out and the webbing looks, you know, not as wrinkly as what it does here, but here she is, and I'm really pleased with how the bugle beads turned out for fringe. So that is something I'm going to keep in mind for, you know, future designs or whatever. I really liked how that turned out. So Hope is finished, and now I need to figure out a creative way to frame her. And I'm wondering, yeah, just about how am I going to do that? Because I have a particular look that I'm going for, and I just need to actually sit down and figure out the ins and outs of how to make that happen. Pardon me. So, what else I worked on for Spooky October, or Dark October, before the whole thing with Hope came about, I was working on this project here, and I was doing sweeping cobwebs, and this is how far that I had gotten. And this was my travel project. I would just take it along because it was only 3 colors and rather simple to do. And I really had a lot of fun working with this. The design is just so fun and whimsical. And I have several others of the Prairie Schooler Halloween ones, and they're just, I like them. They remind me of old-time advertising about Halloween, like from the 30s and stuff. Let's see, what else? The other project that I started, yes, I had a new start. Imagine that. I started this one from Dimensions Gold, and it is called Proud and Noble. Yeah, there's the information. So, a very regal looking, I'm going to say he's Lakota or Sioux, First Nations chieftain or brave, whichever. But I started him for Standing Rock, and if I start a project for something in particular to like commemorate or whatever, I like to tuck a kind thought in every little stitch I do, just because it's like, by the time that sucker's done, you know, that's a lot of positive energy going out to that person or that cause. And in this case it would be, you know, Standing Rock. And I got maybe this much done. Just a little square black and some white. And I decided that the fabric was really not working. Originally, I mean, I had pictures of it on Instagram, I think. Maybe Facebook, I'm not sure. But initially the fabric was a very pale beige and a very pale bluish gray. And it was called Desert Sky. And it's Lugana or Jobelin, but I think Jobelin. It feels really soft. Anyway, long story short, it was pale tan and pale bluish gray, but if you look at his palette, he's got a lot of strong color. You know, the black and the red, and then the white, and also the blues. Now all this blue background up in here. Okay. First of all, I did not start him on the fabric that came with it. The fabric that came with it is an 18 count ivory Ada. And Ada and I just don't get along. It's, the fabric just feels crunchy, and I don't like that, because I just don't. Anyway, long story short, I restarted it on a different fabric, and it was 28 count, so it's going to be huge. The colors, after I got some of his, I got just the black and the white on there, and I did not like it. It was too pale. That was the one thing that kind of bugged me. But more than that, in a Dimension Gold kit, you have all these half stitches in the background, and I'm still using some of the kit threads. I've since changed my mind about that. I'm going to kit it up with the DMC, just because the coverage is not very pleasant on this 28 count. As a kit, it would have been fine, but you know, I've I've jumped up several stitch sizes to get it on 28 count, so I need to have better coverage, and there's not going to be enough materials in the kit. And so while I was going through the process of figuring that all out, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do all these background stitches. The only background stitching that I'm going to do is there, right up here. If you look there, there is a buffalo in the clouds. There. I'm going to do that cloud with the buffalo, because the buffalo showed up out at Standing Rock. But I'm not doing any of the sky except for that cloud. So guess what I did? I threw that project in the shower and got it all wet, all the fabric wet, threw it down on a tray, and I ice dyed it with some of the stitches already in it. And I thought, well, if it's ruined, it's only going to be the white stitches, and you'll see here in a bit. Yeah, I got to rip those out yet, but I dyed it just to be a summery kind of sky look. And let's see, there you go. Oh, the sun's coming in at a weird angle here. I still got to rip out that blue. It was white, right down in there. It was white, but now I gotta rip it out because it turned the same as the fabric. And I just took a leap of faith and said, you know what, if it don't work, it don't work. But I'm gonna make sure that it does. So, anyway, he's now on a summery kind of sky look, and I'll just stitch the buffalo cloud in the background and go from there. He has been a lot of fun to stitch. I don't have a whole lot done on him because harvest kind of snowballed on me, but he'll come back. I'll keep working on him through November and for whatever long. And while I had the ice dye process go out, I also did these. There we go. And it's just a skein of white DMC, and I threw down some blue and some purple on it, and also this one, which I really like how this one turned out. I need to wind it up so it's not a mess, but it's got purple and a little bit of blue, and then I left some of the white, as you see. So they'll be kind of fun just to monkey around with on a sampler or something, you know. So that was the only adventures that I had with my dyeing. Excuse me, I have to take a call. I will return in just a minute. Sorry about that. As they say, you know, destiny calls, you gotta answer the phone. Anyway, where was I? I was talking about the whole ice dyeing adventure with the Proud and Noble project. I'm getting really addicted to that kind of adventure with fabrics because I have a lot of solid fabric here. Just bits and pieces that I've collected over the years that they were so plain I never used them. But now it's kind of a second chance, I want to say. It's a second chance to make those fabrics into something that I would actually want to use, and yeah, they won't be sitting around in my closet just wasting space. Now they'll have a job. So I'm very happy to have stumbled upon that. And once again, the instructions are all over YouTube on how to ice dye fabric. So yeah, it's a fun little adventure, and I still love the fabrics that you can get from like Under the Sea and Hand Dyes by Steph, and you know, all those other, you know, Picture This Plus, all those other companies. I still love those fabrics, but for all these plain ones that I had laying around, or still do, this has been a redemption. They will finally, you know, see the light of day if they get to look like something else. So, what else has been going on in Stitchyland? Like I said, Harvest kind of threw a wrench into everything just with, well, Stitcher Itchy knows, just with all the, you know, demands on my time there. But I'm hoping to get back into and caught up with some of the designs that have been on hold. I know the princess is waiting. I gotta finish wrapping that one up and get her ready to be the release. So she'll probably be coming soon. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of other ones that I need to get cracking on because, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm ready for some normal life. I mean, for lack of a better word, I'm ready for some normalcy to happen. But, you know, it's a seasonal thing. We go through this every year. It's just the nature of farming. And now things can be quiet and I can get caught up on all my stuff, and yeah, it's just, you take it as it comes. And we are lucky to be able to roll with the punches when it does. So anyway, on that note, the rest of my day is pretty much planned for me. I have to run to town later and restock supplies. I have to get my truck looked at. My son was in an accident earlier this week. Nobody was hurt. Thank God. Thank God. But had he not been driving the Super Duty, it would have been a lot worse. You know, it would have. But thankfully that truck is big enough that it took the brunt of it rather than the people. So, yeah. Thank goodness for small favors. Everything's okay. But it still needs to get looked at just because insurance and stuff. So I got to deal with that. What else? I got to get some medicine. Poor Sierra. Now she's one of my horses. She scuffed her leg up pretty good here a couple days ago, so I got to get some more salve for that. And what else? I think that's pretty much enough for for lately. So anyway, hopefully for the next video, I will have a lot more progress to show. Projects that are coming up that I hope to get caught up with again. Still going to keep Proud and Noble going for a while. I want to get some of the Mirabilias back out, and the Chatelaines are starting to kind of whimper. Now that means they're in the back of my mind. They're not focused all out in a rage that they're not being worked on, but they're starting to whimper. They're in the back of my mind. So yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do on FlossTube. Oh my goodness. But I'll get there. I will get there. Mark my words. So anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Thank you to the subscribers and the new subscribers and all your wonderful comments. I really appreciate you guys. You're amazing. And especially with the way I want to say the atmosphere lately through November, I am just really thankful that I made the decision to stay away from social media for the most part, just because I didn't want to, I didn't want to be a witness of what was all going on there in light of recent events. And I just remember it from the last elections that there were so many people that got so upset with each other, and people that lost friendships and broke up families and all that other stuff. I didn't want to deal with seeing it, really, for lack of a better word. And not because I'm chicken, but because it's painful to watch a train wreck and to see people get upset over things like that, because ultimately each person is supposed to be their own leader and their own master over themselves. And yeah, I just didn't want to see it all go down, because I saw some of it go down last time, and I stayed off Facebook then too, just because it just kind of got ugly, and I just didn't want anything to do with it this time. So hopefully now, it's been a couple of days, it's all hopefully leveled out a bit, and hopefully people didn't lose too many friends over it, because it's kind of a silly reason to throw a friendship away. Ultimately that shouldn't change, but that's just my opinion on it, for what it's worth. Anyhow, I better go get into my daily to-do list, and we'll see how Sierra's doing. Poor baby. So I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for checking in, and oh my goodness, thank you for all the support. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Can't say that enough. So I will be seeing you all very soon on your channels. Take care of yourselves. Bye.